Okay, welcome back. So in today's session, we are going to discuss a very important topics of community medicines, and the name of topic is hypertension. Okay. So what is the normal range of the blood pressure? And when we say a person is in a hypertensive stage, so the normal range of systolic blood pressure is lies between the 19 mmHg to 120 mmHg. So if any person their blood pressure their systolic blood pressure is lies in between the range of 90 to 120 mmHg, in that condition, uh, those person is considered as a normal systolic blood pressure. So what is the normal range of the diastolic blood pressure? The normal range of the diastolic blood pressure is lies between 16 to 18 mmHg. So what I am telling to you, a person having a systolic blood pressure lies between in a range of 90 to 120 mmHg. It is considered as a normal blood pressure. While in case of the diastolic blood pressure, it lies in between the range of 60 to 80 mmHg. So systolic blood pressure lies in between the range of 90 to 120 mmHg, and the diastolic pressure is lies in between the range of 60 to 80 mmHg. So when we called a person is in hypertensive stage, so before discussing the hypertensive stage, I would first like to discuss two more points. When we called a person having a low normals, and when we called a person having a high normals. So if the systolic blood pressure of any person is elevated from 120 mmHg, it means their blood pressure is more than 120 mmHg, but it is less than 130 mmHg. I mean their systolic blood pressure is lies in between the range of 120 to 130 mmHg. In that condition, it is considered as a low normals. And when the systolic blood pressure is beyond the 130 mmHg but less than 140 mmHg, I mean their blood pressure is lies in the range of 130 to 140 mmHg, it is considered as a high normals. And when the blood pressure of any person is beyond the 140 mmHg, when the blood pressure of any person is beyond the 140 mmHg, then we called such person as a hypertensive stage. So for the hypertensive stage, the blood pressure of person is more than 140 mmHg. Under the 140 mmHg, we not called as a hypertensive stage. We either called it as high normals when it lies in between the range of 130 to 140, and when it is lies in a range between 130 to 120, then we call it as a low normal. So after discussion of all these things, normal blood pressure, one more points. What are the criteria of in hypertensive a person having a hypertension stage? So I already told to you that if a patient blood pressure is more than 140 mmHg, it is considered as a hypertensive stage. So in above 140 mmHg, if their blood pressure is lies in between the 140 to 160 mmHg, it is a grade 1 hypertensive stage. And if the blood pressure is lies in between 160 to 180, then grade 2, and above the 180 it is called grade 3 or the hypertensive emergency or the urgency. So what I am telling to you, blood pressure, a systolic blood pressure more than 140 mmHg, person in hypertensive stage. If their blood pressure lies in between 140 to 160, grade 1 hypertension, 160 to 180, grade 2 hypertension, and beyond the 180 it is called hypertensive emergency or urgency. Okay, so after the discussion all this value, now we move towards the classification of the hypertension. So hypertension is mostly classified into the two criteria. One is the essential hypertensions, and mostly 19% of the hypertensive patient they belongs to this essential hypertension or the primary hypertension. So what is the meaning of this essential hypertension? Essential hypertension means here the cause of hypertension is unidentifiable. So cause of hypertension is unidentifiable. I mean no any identifiable cause behind the hypertension. So when there is no any cause behind the hypertension, I mean no any identifiable cause behind the hypertension, we consider such patient as a primary hypertensive patient. But if a patient having a identifiable cause behind the hypertension, then we consider such patient as a secondary hypertension or the hypertension as a secondary hypertension. So what are the secondary cause? The most common cause behind the secondary hypertension is the renal cause. It may include the chronic kidney disease, polycystic kidney disease, renal artery disease. It may be due to the endocrine disorders like Cushing syndromes, hyperthyroidism that increase the systolic blood pressures, and the hypothyroidism it increase the diastolic blood pressure. Okay, so the hypertension will also cause due to the use of NSAIDs, oral contraceptive pills, corticosteroids, and the cyclosporins. There is one more important point which is the pregnancy related hypertension called the preeclampsia, and before it is rule out, it is must to rule out in all the pregnant ladies because it harm the both pregnant ladies and the fetus. So during the pregnancy period we must rule out the preeclampsia, I mean pregnancy related hypertension. Okay, so after the discussion of these two types of hypertension, now we move towards the risk factors. So there are the two risk factors. One is the modifiable risk factors and another is non-modifiable risk factors. So non-modifiable risk factor means age. As the age of a person is progressive, what happens? There is the destruction of the collagen fibers in the arteries. So due to the destruction of collagen fibers in the arteries, the artery of a person it become a stiff. So when the artery become a stiff, they lose the pulsatile nature. They not properly expands. So artery become a stiff. So due to the stiffness of the arteries in old age, the patient develops hypertension, which is a common thing observed in our country, that in higher ages due to the stiffness of the arteries the patient develops hypertension. Another is sex. So what happens? It is observed in a study that the estrogen hormones present in the female's body, they responsible for the high blood pressure in a women as compared to the men. The second is ethnicity. It is also observed in a study that the blacks peoples who having a high blood pressure as compared to the whites peoples or other races. So genetics factors like it is also observed in a study that if parents are the hypertensives, then their children having high risk to developments of hypertension. So after the discussion of this non-modifiable risk factor, now we move towards the modifiable risk factors. So one of the common modifiable risk factor is the obesity, consumption of high salt index, I mean more than 5 gram per day, lack of physical activities, alcohol and smoking, cholesterol consumption more than 100 milligram per day, lack of physical activities, and stress. Stress increase the catecholamines levels, which increase the blood pressure. So now the next topic is the prevention. So the preventive study, we follow the same strategy as we follow in case of the coronary heart disease, because hypertension is one of the risk factor or most prominent risk factor for the developments of coronary heart disease. So whatever the strategy discussed under this coronary heart disease, the same strategy we follow under the hypertensive disease, like the population strategy, high risk strategy, and the secondary preventions. So I hope you can understand the lecture little bits. Okay, so welcome back in new session.